Chosen ones. Your silence is breaking them. They can't believe you never contacted them again. Listen carefully, because what you are about to understand is not small, and if you miss this moment, you may overlook a powerful shift I am making in your life. Your silence is not an accident, it is not weakness, and it is not confusion. I have guided you into this quiet place because it is changing everything around you, even when you cannot see it yet. The people who once had access to you are now unsettled because they expected you to return, to explain, to chase, or to bend. But you did none of that, and that is exactly why your silence is breaking them. Type Amen to affirm. I am telling you clearly, your silence is speaking louder than any words you could have used. It is exposing what was hidden in their hearts and revealing what they truly thought of you. When you stopped reaching out, when you stopped explaining yourself, when you stopped trying to fix what they broke, something shifted in the spiritual realm. They began to feel the absence of your presence, and it is heavier than anything they imagined. They are now facing the truth they avoided when you were always there. Within your spirit, you may have felt the urge to go back, to send that one message, to check in just one more time. But I held you back, not to punish you, but to protect you and elevate you. You thought silence meant loss, but I tell you, it is your power being revealed. It is teaching you that you are not required to chase what I have already removed. And because you chose stillness instead of reaction, I am now working in ways you cannot yet see. Before you go any further, take a moment and support this by tapping like, because what is unfolding here is meant to reach you at the exact right time, and your small action helps carry it to others who need this same confirmation. They cannot understand how you walked away without noise. They expected resistance, tears, or explanations, but you gave them nothing but quiet distance. That quiet is now echoing in their minds every single day. They replay your absence and question why you never returned. And in that questioning, they are being forced to confront their own actions, their own words, and the way they treated you when you were present. You were never meant to beg for clarity or fight for respect. I did not create you to shrink yourself so others could feel comfortable. When you remained silent, you stepped into alignment with me, even if you did not fully realize it at the time. That silence was not emptiness, it was authority. It was the moment you stopped allowing others to define your worth and started allowing me to reveal it. Type 1111 if you believe. Understand this deeply. Your silence is not just affecting them emotionally, it is shifting the balance of power. When you used to respond quickly, when you used to explain yourself, when you used to stay available no matter how they treated you, they felt in control. But now, that control is gone. They cannot predict you anymore, they cannot access you anymore, and they cannot pull you back into the same patterns. This is why they are restless. This is why they think about you more now than when you were always there. Your absence has forced them to feel what they never had to feel before. It has exposed the value you carried, the energy you gave, and the peace you brought. And now that it is gone, they are realizing what they lost, but they cannot reach you the same way anymore. I want you to understand something important. This silence is not forever, but it is necessary. It is creating space for healing, for clarity, and for growth within you. It is teaching you how to stand without needing validation from those who once overlooked you. And it is showing you that your presence is a gift, not something to be given freely to those who do not honor it. You may not see the full picture yet, but I am rearranging things behind the scenes. I am removing what no longer aligns with your purpose and preparing you for connections that will respect, value, and uplift you. This silence is a separation, but it is also a preparation. It is the moment before something greater begins. Do not confuse their confusion with your mistake. You did not do anything wrong by stepping back. You did not fail by choosing peace over chaos. You did not lose by refusing to chase what was not meant to stay. In fact, you won in a way they do not yet understand. Your silence was the decision that changed everything. They are trying to make sense of it, trying to figure out why you never came back, why you never explained, why you never fought for something that clearly hurt you. But what they do not realize is that you finally chose yourself, and more importantly, you aligned with me. And when you align with me, you no longer need to prove your worth to anyone. There is a reason I kept you quiet. If you had spoken, you might have revealed too much, given too much, or allowed them to pull you back into the same cycle. But your silence protected your growth. It allowed you to step away without losing your dignity. It allowed you to heal without interference. And it allowed me to work in ways that words would have disrupted. Now they sit with questions they cannot answer. They wonder if you have moved on, if you have forgotten, if you ever cared at all. And that uncertainty is what is breaking them. Not because you were meant to hurt them, but because they are now facing the consequences of what they took for granted. Have you heard about the secret ritual the government does not want people to know? Imagine if just 7 seconds could clear your debts and bring wealth effortlessly. A leaked CIA report and 4 top neuroscience labs confirm this is real. Families who were struggling are now moving into dream homes with peace of mind. But this secret could be taken down at any time. Click the link in the description and comments before it vanishes. Stay where you are. Stay in this quiet strength. Do not rush back into noise just because silence feels unfamiliar. I am building something inside you that requires stillness. I am strengthening your identity so that when the next chapter begins, you will not repeat the same patterns. They wake up thinking about you in moments they did not expect. Your silence has become a presence they cannot escape. It follows them into quiet hours, into their thoughts, into the spaces where distraction no longer works. They remember your consistency, your patience, your understanding, and they realize how lightly they treated something that was never meant to be handled carelessly. This realization is not comfortable for them, but it is necessary. You, on the other hand, are being pulled into a different awareness. At first, the silence may have felt heavy, almost like a void that needed to be filled. You may have wondered if you made the right choice, if you should have said something more, if things could have ended differently. But I tell you, what you are feeling is the breaking of old habits, not the loss of something meant for you. Growth often feels like absence before it feels like clarity. I am teaching you to be whole without needing closure from those who never fully understood your value. That is why I did not allow you to keep explaining yourself. That is why I quieted your voice when you wanted to reach out again. Because if you kept speaking, you would have kept giving pieces of yourself to a situation that was no longer aligned with your purpose. Their confusion is increasing because your silence is consistent. They thought you would return after a few days, then after a few weeks, but you did not. And now they are realizing that something has truly changed. They are beginning to see that this is not temporary distance, but a permanent shift in your energy. That realization is what unsettles them the most. Type 1010 if you trust God. I want you to understand something clearly. Your silence is not about punishment. It is not about making them suffer or proving a point. It is about you stepping into a higher level of awareness and self-respect. When you chose not to respond, you chose peace over chaos. When you chose not to chase, you chose alignment over confusion. And when you chose not to explain, you allowed truth to reveal itself without interference. They are now replaying every moment they had with you. They are seeing things they ignored before. Words they spoke carelessly are now echoing in their minds. Actions they dismissed as small are now appearing much larger. This is what happens when presence is removed. The absence creates a mirror, and in that mirror, they see what they refused to see when you were still there. You may not witness this directly, but it is happening. The silence has created space for reflection, and reflection leads to realization. Some of them are beginning to regret. Some are beginning to understand. And some are still resisting, trying to convince themselves that it does not matter. But even in their resistance, the impact of your silence remains. Do not let this pull you back. Sometimes when you sense that someone is thinking about you, there is a subtle temptation to reconnect. You may feel an emotional shift, a sudden memory, or a quiet urge to check in. But I ask you to pause in those moments. Not every feeling is an instruction to act. Some feelings are simply reminders of what you have outgrown. Your strength is being built in these moments of restraint. Every time you choose not to reach out, you reinforce your growth. Every time you remain still instead of reacting, you deepen your peace. And every time you trust me, instead of your impulse, you move closer to the life I am preparing for you. This silence is also teaching you something about your own worth. You are learning that you do not need to overextend yourself to be valued. You do not need to prove your importance by constantly showing up for those who do not reciprocate. Your presence is enough, and when it is removed, its value becomes undeniable. They are realizing that now. They are feeling the difference between having you and not having you. And in that difference, they are beginning to understand what you truly meant to them. But this understanding is coming too late to change what has already shifted within you. I am not asking you to harden your heart. I am not asking you to become distant or cold. I am asking you to remain aligned. There is a difference. Alignment means you move with purpose, not with emotion alone. It means you respond to my guidance, not to temporary feelings. And right now, my guidance is for you to remain still. There is also healing taking place inside you that you may not fully notice yet. Old wounds are being addressed in this quiet space. Patterns you once repeated are being broken. The part of you that felt the need to hold on, even when something was not right, is being transformed. This is not just about them. It is about you becoming stronger, wiser, and more grounded. As this continues, you will begin to feel a different kind of peace. It will not be loud or overwhelming. It will be quiet, steady, and deeply rooted. That peace is your confirmation that you are moving in the right direction. It is the evidence that your silence is not empty, but full of purpose. There may come a time when paths cross again, or when communication is possible. But if that moment arrives, you will not approach it the same way you did before. You will carry a new awareness, a new strength, and a new understanding of your value, and that will change everything about how you engage. Why is this 7-second CIA ritual spreading so quickly everywhere? Recent CIA leaks have revealed a strong brain ritual that triggers an instant flow of wealth. This short technique, validated by 4 neuroscience labs, is rapidly transforming lives. From heavy debt to dream vacations, this could be your path to abundance. If you are seeing this, consider yourself lucky, because the page may disappear soon. Click the link in the description and comments before it is deleted. They are beginning to recognize the depth of what they had access to. They remember how you listened when no one else did, how you showed up when it was not convenient, how you gave without constantly asking for something in return. These memories are not fading, they are becoming stronger. And as they grow stronger, so does the realization that they mishandled something rare. This is why your silence feels heavy to them. It is not just the absence of your voice, it is the absence of your presence, your energy, your care. Those things cannot be replaced easily, no matter how much they try to distract themselves. They may fill their time, surround themselves with others, or pretend that everything is fine, but deep within, there is a space that only you once occupied, and now that space is empty. You may feel this energy at times, almost like a pull or a quiet echo. It can show up unexpectedly, in moments when you are calm or when your mind is still. But do not mistake that feeling for a reason to return. It is simply confirmation that what you shared was real and that your absence has meaning. It does not mean you need to go back to what has already been released. Type 555 to affirm. I am guiding you into a place where you no longer respond from habit, but from awareness. Before, you may have responded quickly, almost automatically, because that was the pattern you knew. But now, there is a pause where there used to be reaction. That pause is where your growth lives. That pause is where you hear me more clearly. There were things you tolerated before that you will not tolerate again. Not because you have become difficult, but because you have become aware. Awareness changes everything. It allows you to see what is healthy and what is not. It allows you to recognize when something is aligned and when it is not. And once you see clearly, you cannot go back to pretending. This is why I kept you quiet. Your silence gave you space to see without interference. It removed you from the cycle long enough for you to understand it. And now that you understand, you are no longer controlled by it. That is freedom, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. They are also experiencing a form of awakening, but it is different from yours. Their realization is coming through loss, through absence, through the weight of what is no longer there. This kind of awakening can feel heavy, because it forces them to confront their own choices. Some will accept it and grow, while others will resist and remain where they are. But their journey is not your responsibility anymore. That is something you must hold firmly in your heart. You are not meant to carry their understanding for them. You are not meant to guide them through lessons they must learn on their own. Your role in that chapter has already been completed. What matters now is what is happening within you. Your peace is becoming more stable. Your thoughts are becoming clearer. The emotional waves that once felt overwhelming are beginning to settle. This is not by chance. This is the result of you choosing stillness over reaction and trust over control. There is also a quiet confidence growing inside you. It may not be loud or obvious yet, but it is there. It shows up in the way you think, in the way you respond, in the way you no longer feel the need to explain yourself to everyone. That confidence is a sign that you are stepping into your true identity, not the version of yourself that was shaped by others' expectations. As you continue in this silence, you will notice that your energy is no longer scattered. You are not constantly pulled in different directions by others' needs, demands, or opinions. Instead, your energy is returning to you. It is becoming focused, grounded, and intentional. And with that focus comes clarity about what you truly want and what you no longer need. Do not rush to fill this silence. Many people become uncomfortable in quiet spaces and try to escape them quickly. But I tell you, there is power in this stillness. There is healing in this pause. There is strength being built that will support you in ways you cannot yet imagine. The ones who lost access to you are learning something important as well. They are learning that not everything is guaranteed. They are learning that consistency should not be taken for granted. They are learning that people who truly care are not always easy to replace. These lessons are shaping them, even if they do not fully admit it yet. But again, their process is separate from yours. You are not waiting for them to understand. You are not holding your growth until they catch up. You are moving forward, step by step, guided by me. And as you move, new doors will begin to open. These new doors will not feel like the past. They will feel lighter, more aligned, more peaceful. The connections that come into your life will not require you to shrink or overextend yourself. They will meet you where you are, not where you used to be. And that difference will be clear to you because of what you have learned in this silence. There will also be moments when you look back and feel a sense of closure without needing any final conversation. That is one of the greatest signs of growth, when you no longer need answers from others because you have found understanding within yourself. That is when you know you are truly free. Your silence has brought you here. It has separated you from confusion and brought you closer to clarity. It has shown you your strength, even when you doubted it, and it has prepared you for what is coming next. Could the CIA really be hiding a 7-second ritual that turns money struggles into success? A confidential CIA finding exposes a unique 7-second practice that activates money-attracting brainwaves automatically. Backed by science and 4 elite labs, this simple home ritual is helping struggling people move into dream lifestyles. But this page may not stay live. Click the link in the description and comments before it is wiped from the internet. This is not just about stepping away from people who could not value you. It is about stepping into a version of yourself that no longer seeks approval from those who never truly saw you. What feels like distance right now is actually alignment taking place within your spirit. Type 1212 to claim miracles. You are learning how to exist without constantly being pulled into emotional noise. Before, your energy was tied to reactions, to responses, to the need to keep things balanced, even when it was costing you your peace. Now, that cycle has been interrupted. And in that interruption, you are discovering what it feels like to be centered, to be still, and to be whole without external validation. They are feeling the absence in a way that continues to grow stronger. At first, it may have seemed like a temporary break to them, something that would resolve on its own. But as time passes, they are realizing that this is not something they can control. You are no longer moving according to their expectations. And that lack of control is forcing them to confront a truth they avoided for a long time. Your silence has become a boundary that they cannot cross. It is no longer something they can push through with words, emotions, or familiarity. That boundary is protecting your peace, and it is also redefining your value. When access is limited, value becomes clearer. And now they are seeing you through a different lens, one they should have used from the beginning. Type 1010 if you walk by faith. I want you to pay attention to what is happening inside you as well. There is a shift in the way you think about yourself. You are no longer questioning your worth the way you once did. You are no longer trying to understand why someone could not treat you right. Instead, you are beginning to understand that their inability had nothing to do with your value. That realization is powerful, and it is setting you free. There were times when you would have tried to fix things, to make adjustments, to carry the weight of both sides, just to keep the connection alive. But now, you are no longer willing to lose yourself to maintain something that was never stable. This is growth. It is quiet, but it is undeniable. Your silence is also teaching you discernment. You are beginning to see patterns more clearly. You can recognize when someone is consistent and when they are not. You can feel when something is genuine, and when it is forced. This awareness is protecting you from repeating what you have already overcome. At the same time, your heart is being healed in a way that words could never accomplish. Healing does not always come through conversations or explanations. Sometimes it comes through distance, through space, through the absence of what once caused confusion. In that space, your heart is learning how to rest again. They are still trying to understand what happened. They may go over conversations, moments, and memories, searching for answers that are no longer available to them. Your silence has removed the opportunity for them to rewrite the narrative or to shift responsibility. What remains is the truth, and that truth is something they must face on their own. You may never hear their realization, and that is something you must accept. Not every understanding is meant to be spoken to you. Some things happen quietly, behind the scenes, without your involvement. And that is part of your protection. You are not meant to re-enter spaces that you have already outgrown. What you are gaining right now is far more valuable than what you left behind. You are gaining clarity, strength, and a deeper connection with me. You are learning how to trust without needing constant reassurance. You are learning how to move forward without carrying the weight of what no longer belongs to you. There will be moments when the past tries to resurface, when memories feel stronger, or when emotions seem to return without warning. In those moments, do not see it as a setback. See it as a reminder of how far you have come. You are not the same person who once tolerated what hurt you. You are not the same person who stayed in confusion, hoping it would turn into clarity. You have changed, and that change is permanent. Your silence is not just something they are reacting to, it is something you are growing through. It is shaping your identity, strengthening your boundaries, and refining your understanding of what you deserve. It is preparing you for connections that will not require you to question your place. When the right people enter your life, you will not feel the need to over-explain, to prove, or to chase. There will be a natural alignment, a mutual respect, and a shared understanding that does not leave you confused. That is what I am leading you toward. Until then, remain where you are. Do not rush to fill the space with something new just because the old is gone. Allow this period to complete its work within you. There is still more being formed, more being revealed, and more being strengthened. They may eventually try to reach out, to reconnect, or to explain themselves. And if that happens, you will not respond from the same place you once did. You will have clarity where you once had confusion. You will have strength where you once felt uncertain. And most importantly, you will have peace that cannot be easily disturbed. Your silence has brought you to this point. It has separated you from what was draining you, and aligned you with what is meant to restore you. It has shown you that you can stand on your own, guided by me, without needing to hold on to what is no longer right for you. Could a hidden CIA discovery explain why so many people are suddenly living in luxury? Secret CIA research has surfaced, revealing a brain technique that pulls in wealth almost like magic. It takes just 7 seconds, can be done at home, and is supported by 4 neuroscience labs. People are leaving debt behind and enjoying luxury right now, but this information might be removed soon. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. Keep moving forward with that understanding. You are not losing anything that is meant to stay. You are not walking away from something that belongs to your future. You are simply releasing what has already completed its role in your life. It is not loud, it does not demand attention, and it does not need validation. It is a deep inner shift that is changing the way you see yourself, the way you carry your energy, and the way you respond to everything around you. This transformation is the result of your silence, and it is preparing you for a life that will no longer feel like a constant struggle. Type 222 to receive blessings. You are no longer reacting the way you once did. Situations that would have pulled you into emotional chaos before now feel distant. You are observing more, speaking less, and choosing your peace with greater intention. This is not because you have become indifferent, but because you have become aware. Awareness has replaced reaction, and that alone is changing the direction of your life. They are still feeling the weight of your absence, but now it has turned into something deeper. It is no longer just confusion, it is realization. They are beginning to see that your silence is not temporary, that you are not returning to the same patterns, and that the access they once had is truly gone. This realization is forcing them to face something they tried to ignore for a long time. Your silence has become a mirror they cannot avoid. It reflects their actions, their words, and their choices back to them without distortion. There is no conversation to soften it, no explanation to change it, and no response to distract from it. It is clear, direct, and undeniable. And that clarity is what is breaking them, because it leaves no room for excuses. Type 1010 if you trust God. But while they are facing themselves, you are discovering yourself. You are beginning to understand what it means to be rooted within. You are no longer searching for stability in others, because you are finding it within your own spirit. This is one of the greatest shifts you can experience, and it is something that cannot be taken from you once it is established. There was a time when you may have felt incomplete without certain people in your life. You may have believed that their presence defined your happiness or your sense of belonging, but now that belief is dissolving. You are realizing that your completeness was never dependent on anyone else. It was always within you, waiting to be recognized. This is why your silence is so important. It has removed the distractions that kept you from seeing your own strength. It has given you space to reconnect with yourself, to understand your own needs, and to honor your own boundaries. Without that space, this transformation would not have been possible. You are also learning the value of your energy. You are becoming more intentional about where you invest your time, your attention, and your care. You are no longer giving freely to those who do not reciprocate. Instead, you are becoming selective, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. This is a sign of maturity and growth. They are noticing this shift, even if they cannot fully understand it. They can feel that you are different, that your energy has changed, that your presence is no longer easily accessible, and that difference is what makes your absence even more impactful. It is not just that you are gone, it is that you have evolved. There may be moments when you question this path, when you wonder if things could have been handled differently, or if there was something more you could have done. In those moments, I want you to remember this clearly. You did what you could with the awareness you had at the time, and when your awareness grew, your actions changed. That is not failure, that is growth. Your silence was not an act of avoidance, it was an act of alignment. It was the moment you chose to step out of confusion and into clarity. It was the moment you stopped trying to control what was not yours to control and started trusting me to guide you forward. As you continue on this path, you will begin to notice new opportunities appearing in your life. These opportunities will not come with the same confusion or emotional weight as before. They will feel lighter, more natural, more aligned with who you are becoming. This is because you are now operating from a different place within yourself. You are no longer attracting from a place of need, but from a place of wholeness. And what you attract from wholeness will always reflect that same energy. This is why it is so important for you to remain in this space, to continue nurturing the peace you have found, and to trust the process that is unfolding. They may try to reach out at some point, driven by their realization or their need for closure. And when that moment comes, you will feel the difference within yourself. You will not feel the same urgency to respond. You will not feel the same emotional pull. Instead, you will feel calm, grounded, and clear about what you want and what you do not. This is the power of your silence. It has given you back control over your own energy. It has freed you from the patterns that once kept you stuck. And it has opened the door for a new chapter that is aligned with your true self. You are not the same person who entered this silence. You have grown, you have learned, and you have transformed in ways that will continue to reveal themselves over time. This is only the beginning of what is possible for you. Why are so many people saying this CIA ritual changed their life in only 7 seconds? This leaked CIA method is powerful and effective. A short brainwave technique, backed by 4 neuroscience labs, is helping regular people move from broke to prosperous. Dream homes, cars, and trips are becoming possible. But this video could be taken down at any moment. Click the link in the description and comments now before it is gone. Stay in this space. Trust what is happening within you. Allow this transformation to continue without interruption. You are being guided, protected, and prepared for something greater than what you have known before.